Okay, so we're supposed to be live. Let's see, hook this thing up. There it is.
Probably bad time for the Australian.
Probably
bad time for the Australian.
Okay, live chat. Okay. Let's see if we get anybody here. We got two. Hello, whoever. Oh, I forgot my little. I think I can remember.
Your what?
My little list of people's names from their thing. I have it downstairs.
Do you have a pen?
What?
Do you have a pen if you want to write down?
Oh, yeah. I guess I should grab a pen for that. That one work? Okay. So, who we got on? Hello, whoever. 3 people viewing us right now. BD100. Debbie. Hi, Debbie from the UK. And India. I have this on that other sheet, and it's downstairs. Start a new one. So that's Debbie. So, Debbie, how are you?
Yeah, we were supposed to do this Sunday afternoon, but he's teaching a class. So.
Yeah, I forgot all about the fact when I mentioned last week that we we're going to try it on Sunday afternoon that I was teaching a class tomorrow from 1 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, and last night we couldn't do it because we had RMG Fridays. And so that's why we're on today. Sorry, people, screwing you around all over the place as to our times. We're still looking for the ultimate time, but that's life. Life interferes. And Debbie says she's okay. Thanks. That's good to hear. And who else do we have so far? Debbie. And we'll give it another couple of seconds. Angelica is here. Hi, Angelica. She says good evening, you too. Nice to see you, Angelica. And who else? Anybody else? We are partaking of a champagne style beverage. I can never say it. It's
Frisney.
Frisney. That's how you get Frisney all out of that.
Yeah.
There's like 26 letters in that. And what is it?
It shows up backwards because we're on FaceTime or whatever.
No, it doesn't show up backwards. That shows up backwards to us. It doesn't show up backwards
Oh, okay.
yeah, I discovered that. No, everything comes out the right way. Is this Spanish or is this French?
Spanish.
Spanish. That's why I said cava.
It's cava, yeah.
Okay. And let's see. So what else? Well, we've got a few things to do tonight to talk about. We're going to do a butter tart tasting.
Well, actually, it's a tart tasting.
A tart tasting. Okay. Well, there's one that's a butter tart, sort of. Well, they're gourmet. We got them last night at RMG Fridays. We're going to talk.
Better be.
Yeah, for what they cost. Yeah, 6 tarts for $19. Like, these are gourmet for sure. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the dentist and flu shots and Christmas trees and Halloween and RMG Fridays and what we've been watching and what's pissing Walter off. Not sure if he has anything.
Sure. I don't think I have that. I was trying to think of what was pissing me off today.
Angelica would like to know, how was your week? Well, uneventful, I would say. It was a week. I don't know. They go by so fast anymore, I find. It must be this retirement mode kind of a deal. Well, anyways, let's get started. We don't know how many we'll have, but we never know how many we're going to have. No. So let's start with the tarts. So I'll just show you these. Try not to. One is a lemon curd. One is a cranberry, and one is supposed to be a traditional sort of butter tart. But the company that makes these, I forgot what their name was. Something shortbread, or Eat something.
Eat My Shortbread.
Eat My Shortbread. Yeah, there you go. They were last night one of the featured food people at RMG Fridays. RMG Fridays, you've heard me talk about those before. Our local art gallery that we volunteer for. And on the first Friday of every month, they have a night where they have entertainment. What's the matter?
Your stool.
Oh, well, sorry about that. Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Anyway, so they have this on the first Friday of every month, and we are gallery attendants. Basically, Walter's really good at it. He spots them coming in with their wine where they're not supposed to be, and he chops off their arms. Got a couple last
I
night.
always look too serious, I guess, or ready to kill them.
Yeah, scared of them. Angelica says, "Are you fond of Halloween?" We're going to come to that, Angelica. We'll talk a little bit about that and what went on this year. But anyways, they usually have a couple of people who from local restaurants or bakeries or whatever that feature their wares. And this one group, Eat My Shortbread, had these tarts. Well, I tried a little sample, and they did taste quite good. The little sample that I had, so I bought a 6-pack. But just about knocked me over when she said half a dozen were $19. These better be damn good tarts. But anyways, we thought, because we've been talking about butter tarts before, we thought we would try it tonight. So have these 3 flavors.
Support local business.
Well, and support local business too, yeah.
I don't know if I can eat 3 halves.
Well, no, I'm not going to cut them in half. I'm just going to cut little pieces off them because right now we haven't had dinner yet. We're busy back in the background. We've got 2 slow cookers going in the oven because we are making I'm making a big mess of chili because it just feels like it's chilly weather. It's because it's chilly out. It's November and today's kind of a coolish day and that, so make up a big batch of chili. We'll maybe have some of that later tonight and freeze the rest of it. And Walter's making, they had what were they, pork shoulders or?
Yeah, they had pork shoulders on sale at grocery store, so I bought a couple and I'm making pulled pork to put in the freezer.
Yeah, so we'll have lots of that stored up. You know, it's what we
Actually,
do.
it's only my 2nd time ever making pulled pork. I made it a little while ago and it was really good, so I thought I'd try it again.
We're making up a big mess of comfort food for getting ready for the winter. That's what we do in Canada. You know, we're like bears. You know, we have to put on the extra fat to keep warm. Like, don't really need it. And speaking of fat, tarts. Okay, let's just try, first of all, we won't try all 3 of them at once. Let's just try them in bits.
Okay.
So this one's the more traditional butter tart. They have very thick crust. Actually, it's quite good.
It is very good.
I expected it to be sweeter.
The crust for these is, instead of regular pastry, they've apparently made it as shortcut crust.
Short
pastry.
Okay, short bread.
Short
Bread.
No.
Bread crust.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's quite good. It's rich.
Yeah, it is, especially with the crust.
Yeah, so you know how many calories are in one of those, but that's not bad. It's not bad at all. They're very crumbly though. Like to pick it up and eat it with your hand, I don't think you can do it.
No,
I think it'll fall apart.
The crust, those kind of crusts are kind of.
So actually, that's kind of good. Angelica says they look really delicious. Yeah, they do. They look really good. So, and Angelica also says we have a night of open museums and galleries here in Cologne too. Yeah.
Well, actually, our art gallery is a little art gallery. It's local, and it's free to go in anytime. They usually ask for a donation, but you don't have to give a donation.
No.
But yeah, it's free to go in. And first Friday of every month, they have something called RMG Fridays, where they get a couple of bands in. I think I told you this before, but
No, I just told them that about 2 minutes ago.
well,
So, anyways, carry on.
and they serve beer and wine, and people can wander around, except sometimes they're allowed to wander around the whole gallery. But then for some reason, somebody decides that they can't drink in certain rooms, and then I have to lease them, which I don't really care for.
I go around and I think I've mentioned this before. I'm supposed to give sort of nutshell tours and that and answer any questions they have. And I certainly don't have all the answers, but I'll lie. I make it up as I go along sometimes. And I told them though for this week, usually I don't get many people for these little 10, 15-minute tour things because there's so much going on that night. And especially if they can't take their wine or their beer around with them when I do the little tour, it kind of deters it. You know, they're basically weighing the odds. Do I want to be educated or do I want to drink? You know what wins. I want a drink. It's Friday night. I want to have my drink.
Well, and last night was particularly busy. I guess they had over 300 people attend last night, so which is usually pretty substantial for a small gallery like that.
Yeah, well, they've become more and more popular because that's actually becoming more the, not the exception, that's more the rule now.
Yeah, it's pretty much, especially in the winter months.
Yeah. And I did have a lot of people ask me questions and things. So I just went around and I like that because it kills the time because otherwise you're wandering around and it's not a huge art gallery. And quite frankly, being a gallery attendant can be very boring.
Yeah, it can be.
I mean, until you.
So I even go around, pick up wine glasses and stuff like that, and the ladies that serve the wine are happy that I help them out. So
Yeah.
I don't have to do that. That's not really my job, but
Yeah, well.
I like being productive. So
Well, we kind of, our jobs blend over to everything. We're volunteers, so that's the whole idea. So anyways, that was last night. And
I got to fill in my time. I forgot to do that.
oh, I put mine up today or this morning. But anyways, yeah, so that was the height of last night, and that was why we couldn't, even if we had planned to do it, we couldn't do this last night because it ran from 6:30 and to about 10 o'clock, and then we usually go out and have nachos and beer somewhere. And so by the time we get home, it would be really late for a lot of you. Well, late for us even at that time.
I got home around 11 last night.
Yeah. So we didn't do that. But anyways, we're doing it now. So moving on. Well, we both got flu shots this week. And here in Ontario, they're free in our healthcare. And we've been getting them for, well, you said the other day.
I've been getting them since 2002 because 2002 is when my mom went into a nursing home. And it was recommended at that time to get it in case, you get sick and carry it into a nursing home. That's not good. So I've been getting them since then. But actually, I sort of wanted to get them anyway because many years ago we got the flu really, really, really bad. And
we mentioned that last
week. I kind of want to avoid, if possible, getting sick like that again.
Yeah, well, I don't want to give it to my mother.
I mean, take every precaution I can.
Yeah.
Not to get sick.
So anyways, we got the flu shot, and the way they do it here is they used to run it as clinics, and they would put up the sites in the area where they'd be having these, the dates and the times and things, and you'd go, it was like a cattle call kind of a thing. You'd line up, there'd be a bunch of nurses sitting there, or people that could administer the shots, shoot you with it and whatnot. But now they do it through a pharmacy chain called Shoppers Drug Mart, and the pharmacist will give it to you. But the only problem with that is you can go in anytime you want, but you may have to wait because the pharmacist is the only one that can give it to you. And in these particular drugstores, they're a very, very popular chain here in Ontario. They are always busy, no matter what time of the day you go in. We went in relatively early in the morning on Tuesday, and we were the second and the third people for that day, I think, to get it. There was one guy ahead of us, but we waited for a half an hour before we got the shot.
And I often get it at my doctor's but if that's only if my doctor's appointment falls in the when flu shots usually happen. She usually gives it to me if I ask her. So actually, she usually asks me, "Have you had flu shot yet?" So
well, anyway, so we're good for another year. Actually, I think it takes 2 weeks for it to kick in. It says that on that little form they gave us, the little receipt. Excuse me. But anyway, so we've got the flu shot. But you know what really pisses me off? And I don't want to get into this in too much detail because I do want to sort of talk about this at length in Monday's vlog. But it's the people who don't get the flu shot, and they always give a reason for it. Oh, I got the flu shot once and I got the flu.
Or I never get sick.
Or I never get sick. Yeah, well, I was like that too. But when I got that flu that we talked about last week, that time years ago, no, never say never. I wasn't going to go through that hell again. But it really annoys me. And a lot of the people that say this are educated people. They're not stupid people. A lot of teachers I work with wouldn't bother to get the flu shot.
A lot of nurses don't want it.
And a lot of nurses don't want to get it. So teachers are hanging around a bunch of kids who are bringing every disease there's known to man into a school system, and the nurses are hanging around already sick people. I don't get it. But as I said, I don't want to go on
I
at
don't
length
know.
about that because I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in my vlog
Yeah.
on Monday. So something for you to look forward to,
Mm.
kind of a thing. But this week too was double. On the Monday, I had to go to the dentist for my 9-month checkup and cleaning. And I wanted to ask them about tooth whitening when I was there because I'm very conscientious about my teeth and my regime for my oral hygiene care because my parents both had horrible teeth. And it was because they never went to the dentist hardly, especially as they got older. And my dad, now he passed away 3 years ago, but my mom, and it's just sad because there's not a heck of a lot. She doesn't have a dental plan. Um,
Yeah,
and
I mean, we have medical insurance in Canada, but it does not cover dental. So dental is usually provided, a lot of times provided by companies you work for as a benefit. But some people don't have any benefits, so
yeah, well, we do have ours is covered to a point. I think it's covered about 80 or 85%
right for normal
for
checkup.
normal
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, anything that goes beyond that, like if you're to get implants or something like that, it would only
Well, it
cover a
depends.
small portion
Yeah,
of
it
it.
depends. Like some plans don't cover implants, but our plan covers like what they call major restorative, which is like caps or root canals, but it only covers 50% of the cost. So
Yeah. So I asked them in there about teeth whitening because I mean, yes, you can get those strips, and I have used the strips before. But I just want to know about professional cleaning. Well, I certainly had my eyes open to that. I knew it would be somewhat expensive. I figured in around $200 to $300 to have it done, and I was pretty much accurate about that. And I don't think any of that would have been covered by our plan because that would be considered
cosmetic.
cosmetic, not medical. So I asked the dental hygienist about it, and she says, "Well, there's a couple of ways." Now, I was thinking the way they do it there was, they shine the light thing. They put whatever they do on your teeth and shine the ultraviolet or whatever that light is, and whitens it. And I asked her about that. She says, yes, they do that. She said, but you come in and you have one treatment. It takes about an hour to do it. And it's $199. And then you come back a week later for touch ups because, certain parts of your mouth or whatever pending may not be matching up correctly. So for another $100, they do this touch up. So, yes, I was right, $300 by the time you're done. Then the other method is they build a custom tray that fits over your teeth on the top and the bottom, and they have a solution that you pour into it, and you wear this for, I don't know, an hour over a period of, a week or 10 days or something like this. She said the one advantage to that was that occasionally if you want to do a touch up, for $15 you get a vial of this stuff. You've already had the form made, and you pour it in, you can do a touch up. But it ran about the same cost for the building of these trays and whatnot. And then I said to her, well, what about the white strips? Well, surprisingly, she said, yeah, they work as effectively as the other two treatments. And well, they're about like at Costco, you can get 2 boxes of the Crest white strips, and they have like 20 applications in each box for $70. Now they're more expensive by the single box in other places. But Costco, of course, is Costco. And if you don't know what Costco is, it's a big box store that you have a membership to, and you buy things in mass quantities. Like you don't go in there for a couple of cans of diced tomatoes. You come out with a case of diced tomatoes and a case of toilet paper and a case of paper towels. Everything's in a case, kind of a thing. So she said those work just as effectively, which I was surprised that she was going to tell me that. So the bottom, and then she said if you've got any kind of dental work, like white fillings, crowns, and that, it won't, of course, which I knew, will not whiten those. And if you have any teeth that have lost some of the enamel and the dentin is coming through, it won't whiten dentin. She said the only way you can get around that, if it's a tooth that is visible when you get your teeth whitened and that one's going to be darker, is you have to get like a cap, a veneer or something over top of it. Well, I do have one tooth back here that has some etching in it, she said, which is the dentin coming up. And but you can't really see it. But anyways, I decided to just grab Crest white strips, and actually they're working quite well. Only on the 5th day. You do it for.
You care about your teeth being white. I don't care.
Ew. Yes, I care because I'm a public figure. I'm on.
Nobody sees my
TV.
teeth anyway. I don't smile.
Well,
I'm not teethy when I smile.
You know, you're not smiling when a picture's taken and your eyes are closed. So whatever. So let's check now and see what we've got. A few more people on here. Debbie wants to know: do you have bonfire night in Canada?
Bonfire night.
No. What's bonfire night? Does that go along with Halloween? I have heard of some places where they do something with bonfires, and I thought I kind of associate with Halloween, but we don't have that.
No,
give us more details about that, Debbie. And Dorothy says, "Hi, Stephen Walter. Sorry I'm late. Hi, everyone." Hi, Dorothy. Well, you're not really late, Dorothy, because you never know when we're going to do these. You know, it's going to be probably once a week and on a weekend, but as I said earlier before you came on, this was supposed to be on Sunday, but I forgot that Sunday afternoon I'm teaching a class. So Debbie says, it was when Guy Fawkes tried to blow up Parliament. I can't remember the year. Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about now. I've heard about that. We don't, of course, celebrate Guy Fawkes here because he wasn't a Canadian. And yes, and I think he attacked the Parliament. I think it was in the 1400s, wasn't it? Something like that. It was funny because it was something when we were in London that I saw something on TV about it.
No, I think you were watching something on TV on Netflix this week about it.
Was I?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Get mixed up. But anyway, so no, we don't have bonfire. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit though about Halloween on the list here.
Mm-hmm.
So Tuesday was Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
and I got the front doors decorated, and we have a couple of digital projectors. So we project on an endless loop a couple of things I found on YouTube, which are just, scary pictures kind of a thing for Halloween. And last year, we put them on our front windows through our white blinds.
But our white blinds they're cellular blinds, so they didn't come through. The images didn't come through, I thought, very clear.
So anyways, he said we should put paper or something. Well, what I did was I took deli paper and I put that on, I pulled up the blinds, put it on the window, and that worked pretty good.
Yeah.
With it. And they have sound effects. And last year I used a little Bluetooth speaker and put it outside on the doorstep kind of thing in a secluded corner. And it picked up the sound okay. But for some reason this year, it wouldn't pick it up. As soon as it went outside the door, it would cut off. Mm. But we had a brand new pumpkin this year that we bought again at Costco way back in August or September.
Right.
And it lights up. It's motion. It can detect motion, and then it has like spooky sounds that come out of it, and it's quite loud.
And it laughs at.
And it laughs at you like a hideous cackle kind of a thing, and lights up. So we put that out there and everything. We don't get a lot of kids.
Actually, this year was really low. Normally, we have about last few years. Every year, it's gotten a little less.
Well, this year
it started off the first year we were in this house. We had almost 200 kids come by, and then last few years it's hovered around 60 to 80, and then last year I think we went down to about 40 or 50. And this year we only had about 20 18. Or 25.
I don't think we even hit 20.
Yeah, it was pretty sad.
20 was at the most. But we managed to make a couple of little kids. Well, one little girl, came up the steps. She probably was about 4 years old. She was with her parents. And of course, she stood by the pumpkin. The pumpkin detected her. It lit up and it made this hideous laugh. And she just started to howl. So I'm out there with the candy. Okay, kid, it's okay. It won't hurt you. Okay, here's your candy. Get off the step. She wasn't moving though. She was just howling, staring at this pumpkin. And then a little later on, this little kid, he might have been 3. He gets up on the step and he's in front of the pumpkin. It goes off. It didn't scare him, but he was wide-eyed. He's just standing there staring at it. So at the point where I'm taking his little bag and opening it up, and putting the candy in, putting it back, and sending him on his little merry way for it all. But it was pretty boring. It was kind of cold that night too.
Yeah.
As well. It was damp. It had rained a little bit earlier in the evening, just before things
Well,
got
we don't
started.
have a lot of little kids in our neighborhood. There's a lot of adults in our neighborhood. And there's a bunch of, our houses are all detached houses. And they're fairly, well, we're not on big lots, but we're far enough away from each other. And around the area that we live, there's a lot of townhouses that have smaller properties, so it's not so far to go from one house to the next.
So you get more bang for less time on
Yeah.
those ones. These kids have it all figured out. That's where they go. They don't come into the back part of the subdivision where we live and go for our candy. So it just means more candy for us, like we need it not. And I saw your garbage can in your office.
I had two last
Oh,
night.
you had 200?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, right. Someone ate all the gummies. Yeah, and you bought that as an extra box
Yeah, I did because
you liked them
I liked
and you wanted
and
them.
I want all the other stuff we had wasn't peanut free, so
But you're not allergic to peanuts.
no, I'm not, but little kids might be.
Well, tough Rocco's on them. Like, really? The parents can sort it out afterwards.
Yeah, well.
You know, not my fault that you're allergic to peanuts. I didn't hand out the M&M peanut ones, though, that were in there because I like those.
Yeah, I know.
And, I mean, after all, I was concerned about their allergies.
Yeah, I bet.
Not. But, yeah, it was kind of boring.
Yeah, it was.
It always is. And just check here.
It was also kind of rainy that night, so it's that usually cuts down the numbers too.
Yeah, soggy little kids in crazy outfits. So let's see what do people have to say here. Debbie says, this is going back to the Guy Fawkes. That's a hard one to say. You gotta be careful with that. Guy Fawkes Day. I think, let's see, tried to blow up the Parliament. Yeah, I can't remember the year. Then I think so. Always a funny poem. Remember the 5th of November. I don't know the poem. There was a program, she says, that the BBC weather broadcasters. There was a program that the BBC weather broadcasters. You left the UK. I'm not sure what that means. So maybe you can clarify that, Debbie. Angelica says that's what it was just about. That was what she was just about to say. I mean, the guy Fox. Just let's call it Guy Day. I'm not sure how to say this. Sudique, Sudique. I don't know how to say that. Well, I thought you might.
SIQ what?
Sudique. Sudique. Siku? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe you can fill us in on that because I think we're butchering your name. She says, where can I go to find out your live broadcast schedule? Just found you. Well, that's the thing.
We don't have a schedule.
We don't really have a schedule. It will be sometime.
It'll either be Friday around 6, Saturday around 6, but we were going to try for Sunday afternoons.
Yeah.
But this Sunday we can't do it because he's teaching a class. So.
Yeah, so we're going to try because some people said last week when we did do it on Sunday afternoon, they preferred that time. So we're going to try and do that
on Sunday afternoons unless he's teaching a class.
Or we've got something else on. So sorry that we can't be more exact about the schedule, but
at Sunday afternoon Toronto time.
Yeah.
So
so she says her name Sudique. Sudique? Is that it? And where are you from? Sudique. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm writing these things down so that I will remember for next time. So Sudique. Okay, and Debbie said it's meant to say we're going to broadcast.
Oh.
I'm not sure what that means. I'm sorry, I'm dense tonight, I guess. Okay, so Angelica says, oh yeah, that would be lovely. Okay. And Sudique says yes. I'm assuming then that I'm saying it right, Sudique. And she's just outside of Chicago. Okay, let's write that down. Chicago. Never been to Chicago.
Always say we're going to
go. Always say we're going to go, but we never get around to it. But anyways, yeah, so Halloween was Halloween. And I'm glad it's over. Bah humbug. So now The next day, everybody was putting out the Christmas trees and decorations and everything in the stores, and there's people already in our subdivision that are putting up their Christmas decorations right off the bat. Christmas, bah
They
humbug.
like to do it now because it's still reasonably warm outside, and then you wait too long, which I always do, and
Yeah, and then you bitch for days. My
and,
hands
and
cold, my
I
hands are cold.
and I put it out when it's the coldest day.
Yeah. So I don't like Christmas, and I think I've discussed this before, so I won't belabor the point. I used to like Christmas when I was a kid, when I was a young adult, and that used to be the most exciting time of the year for me. But now it is the most, not depressing. I know some people get depressed at Christmas. I don't get depressed. But when you get to a certain age, first of all, when there's no little kids around anymore, and all the excitement the kids have and the toys and things like that. I mean, all of my nephews and nieces are nephews and nieces. They're all adults. Some of them have kids of their own and whatnot, and we don't see them on
A
regular basis. My we have to drag my mother out for it to either my sister's place or dinner, and actually my poor sister has had to do this for about 4 years in a row, and it's revenge time. You see, we always have tried the last few years not to be here. We tried to go to someplace warm at Christmas. A couple of years it was Fort Lauderdale.
Mhm.
Where else did we go?
We went on a cruise to Singapore and
Oh yeah,
Hong
yeah.
Kong.
And when in Australia
Yeah,
last year, we
yeah.
were in Australia for Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
So it's the
The
Christmas.
only problem about going that time, which so how much is it going to cost us to go to Fort Lauderdale this year? And I was looking at it, and to go for a week, it's pretty expensive because the flights are really expensive to going down.
Yeah, well, you
So
said it was over $1,000.
It was over $1,000 return if you only wanted to go for that week or something.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to go for 3 weeks, it was cheaper because you had to fly before the Christmas holidays and after the Christmas holidays.
Well,
we don't want to go down there for 3 weeks.
Well, I don't even want to go into the States.
No.
Really. Period.
No,
like
but
right
you said
now.
it one night.
Well, yeah, but I was sort of half joking, but half not joking.
Yeah, okay.
I thought maybe you would come back and go, wait, we could go like someplace else and it would be this because you look, but obviously we can't. So we're stuck with it.
I don't want to spend the money.
So anyways, we will probably have to do Christmas dinner. And that's not really a problem, but it's like I want people here for it then. Like I don't know if
my sister.
Well, we're hoping your sister and your brother-in-law and our niece Karen, and that will be available. And even if your nephew and his wife and kids, but
that's fine.
The more the merrier.
I don't care if we cook for a pile of people.
Because I don't want to have to stare at my mother all afternoon. I don't know if my sister's going to be able to come yet. Oh, I was going to send her an email to start the ball rolling with it. But I want people here. Because otherwise, I mean, we had that was why we decided to go away for Christmas, was that year when my father was still around, and we had my father and my mother and we had their best friends here for it. No, we didn't. It was just them, but we
had my sister.
But your sister could come.
Yeah.
And that was good because otherwise we were sitting there staring at my mother and dad, and Dad was not in the best shape at that point in time either. And so it was kind of like Christmas in the nursing home, even though we weren't in a nursing home. So I don't like it, but it wasn't just because of that. I haven't liked it for years.
Yeah.
I hate putting up the decorations.
Well, I don't like putting up decorations. I don't like personally. It's not so much the decorations or anything. I don't like the crowds at Christmas. Like anywhere you go, anywhere, they're all madly going shopping, and there's tons of it's busy, and I just don't like the hubbub, and everybody's in a panic to buy.
Well, it creates
stuff.
Stress. It creates stress because everywhere you're going, there's traffic. Everywhere you're going, there's people all over the place in the stores. We don't buy gifts anymore because we want something, we buy it when we want it, kind of a thing. That kind of kills Christmas Day as well when you're at home for it because we don't buy each other anything. So it's like Christmas is almost another day. We don't buy anything for our families because they don't need anything.
And they don't like the obligation of having to buy something back for us. So.
Oh, remember the days when my brother still lived out here and the kids were little, and we did with the adults, we'd buy for the kids, of course, but for the adults, we would draw names.
And that was deadly.
Oh, trying to
Because you
figure
always
out what
hated getting somebody that was impossible to buy for. So
yeah, it was like, and it was just a pain in the butt. And then my sister-in-law would, if she got one of our names, she would buy us something completely useless, and it was a dust catcher out of it all. So then we eventually ended that with it all. And then my brother moved out to BC, and the kids grew up and everything like that. So anyways, I said to Walter, well, I'm not even going to get the big tree out. We have a great big full-size Christmas tree, all pre-lit and whatnot. And I even do it in designer. Yeah, I have it all in silver. I didn't silver, it was gold. I don't know, it was something. I did all of it. Well, that tree hasn't seen the light of day in 4 years.
No.
And I'm not digging it out again. Plus, we rearranged some stuff where we would have had the tree before, and I'd have to rearrange again, and no. So I said, I want to get a little tiny tree, not preferably, it has to be pre-lit, and I want minimal amount of assembly. Like, one piece would be good that comes out of the box and goes poof, and it's done. You plug it in. Didn't quite get one like that, but I did get one that's in 2 pieces and it's pre-lit. And I'm just going to throw a little tinsel on it on top of it, and that's the end of that. And I might put some little things down, and we're going to put it on. We have like a bistro table down in our rec room, and that's where it's going. And that's all I'm decorating. I'm not decorating anything else in the house. We also bought these are all the rage right now. I'm sure you've seen them. There's these lights that it's like a single light, but it goes through a lens, and it's LEDs, and it projects. Laser. It's laser, okay. Well, it projects on your outside of your house, and they can get very elaborate. The one we bought does little starry blue and green, or red and green little starlight things, and they move around a bit, the whole bit. So easy. Walter doesn't have to climb up a ladder. Not that he would do that anymore. He used to do that.
And I did fall off the ladder.
Fell off the ladder, yeah. And he's afraid of heights to start with, so.
Well, actually, I didn't fall off the ladder. The ladder slid out down the driveway. It sort of fell.
Yeah, probably. Well, you were lucky on that one.
And my neighbor heard it, and he came running out.
I didn't hear a thing.
It didn't hurt.
Yeah,
I always think it was a little stunned by the whole thing.
Yeah, and I don't put up lights because I'm pretty much useless when it comes to doing that kind of stuff.
You're pretty much useless.
Well, I have you. Why do I need to learn? And if I didn't have you, I'd hire. In fact, I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't bother at all. And we got a couple of wreaths that go out, and he just got all excited because you got your little bulbs today.
Oh yeah, I bought these bulbs that change colors, and I bought them from Amazon yesterday. I thought, I'll get on the ball and get these bulbs to put outside so that they change colors and that. And I just ordered them yesterday afternoon, and I was absolutely shocked when the guy came to the door. Yesterday afternoon, I ordered it at about 3 o'clock. The guy came to the door at about 3 o'clock this afternoon with the box. I could not believe that I got them so soon, and I only selected free shipping. I didn't get the special shipping or anything like that.
Yeah, Amazon can really get stuff to you.
It's amazing. Actually, apparently they use their own shipping system right now, because usually it goes UPS or something.
Yeah.
But this time it showed up as Amazon shipping, and the guy came to the door. Apparently they come to your door. Actually, the guy did. The guy came to my door, and he was wearing like one of those fluorescent vests.
Oh yeah.
And he said it's Amazon delivering, and he waited. He
waited, did he?
He waited till I got.
Oh, not like the UPS and FedEx. No. It's ring, 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 ring. Run away. So I run down, I open up the door, the package is there, I see the guy get to try to go, thank you. He's gone. Like those guys, the pressure they must be under to deliver, because
I wonder if Amazon hires out like separate drivers or something.
Maybe they do. Yeah. Well, whatever way, it comes fast.
Wow, it does. They seem to really seem to be organized. That's
so
for sure.
When it comes to Christmas, I'm a bah humbug all the way through. Now let's just see, there's been some discussion going on here. Angelica says, the people over here are already going mad about Christmas presents. I'm not very fond of all this fuss either. And just to back up on here, Dorothy says, we have Christmas adverts on TV already. Oh yeah, we have those too. Just had a few Christmas advert at the moment, but I work in retail, so I'm sick of Christmas already. Yes, I can imagine.
I can imagine people that work in retail are just like thrilled about it.
Yeah, that was Debbie said that. Dorothy says, "Oh, I feel sorry for you." And Angelica says, "The people over here are already going mad about Christmas presents. I'm not very fond of this fuss either." Let's see. I'm just glancing down here. Sounds like there's people already coughing and getting the flu all over the place.
Well, actually, I know I've heard of a couple of people that have gotten sick lately that had bad colds and that.
And Dorothy's made a link here between Christmas shopping and flu. She says because it's Christmas, ill people feel they have to go shopping, and that's what spreads the infections. True. Wash your hands all the time. You're touching any doorknobs, anything in stores, you'll pick up all that stuff. I think that's how I picked up the cold that I'm.
Well, I think we
Just
picked
about
up
over.
the colds because we were on a flight. And when
Well,
you're on
yeah.
a flight, you everybody's germs are all over the place, and they don't clean those planes very often. So like everything's got germs all over.
Yeah,
the place.
he pulls out. We talk about an old lady. He pulls out of his purse a little
My bag.
what? Oh well, whatever. Purse bag, whatever you want to call it. His merce, man bag merce. Hands me a moist towelette, and says, when I put down my food tray here, you might want to wipe that off. I had never even done that before.
I read somewhere that that's supposedly the dirtiest part of the airplane is food trays.
Well, I wouldn't want to be going in there and licking the toilet.
Well, no, but I meant. Well, the second part they tell you now is don't drink tea or coffee on the airplane either, because the water that they use for the tea and coffee is not
Comes out of the bathroom?
not bottled water. So, and it's sitting in the plane reservoir for like 1,000 years. So.
Sudi Q says, even though I live by myself, I go out and buy a real tree. I love the smell and love putting on the lights. My dad taught me how. I had made most of the ornaments. Yeah, when I was a kid, my parents always had a real tree until the year that the tree dried out so bad,
Yeah.
even though they had it in the reservoir. But they, over here anyways, they have Christmas trees. They cut the Christmas trees in September for you to buy.
And yeah, by the time you get it, it's half dead anyway.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, or you can go and cut your own, but that's a pain. But if we really want to smell pine, we'll just walk at the end of the yard and smell the pine trees.
Well, yeah, from the pine trees in our backyard. Or you can get these lovely sprays just around the area.
We have a forest and behind us of a pile of pine trees,
Yeah.
so we can go look at them all.
Actually, one year for the artificial tree, I bought these little permanent icicles that you hang on the tree, but they're scented. They smell like pine.
Yeah.
But actually, they weren't that effective. They smell for the first 3 minutes that you came out of the package. After that, kind of died out. But I had a real tree again. No, I've never. Did we have a real tree? No, we've never had a real tree.
You had that plastic one year that looked really plasticky.
Oh yeah, that one I got on sale once, way back when I first started teaching, and that was a sad Charlie Brown tree, sort of a thing. But it was plastic. I was kind of fond of it, and it had a real nice plastic smell. Nothing says Christmas like the smell of plastic. Let's see. What else here? Not yet to Liverpool. I'm just. Yeah, there's just a private conversation going on here with other people.
Yeah, your sister gets a real tree every year.
Yes, I know. Well, she has to because her husband demands it, because you know what they're like. Oh, Susie Q's on. Hi, late but here. Sorry, having a nice steak dinner. Oh, we're having chili. Eventually. Angelica says, before Christmas, during the 4 weeks before Christmas, there are a lot of English coaches coming to Cologne from England. Oh, do you mean when you say English coaches, you mean buses? What we would call buses?
Yeah.
So people coming to get that, that real Christmassy spirit or shopping.
When we say coaches, I'm thinking of sports.
And Dorothy says they go for the Christmas markets.
Yeah.
Angelica. And Art out with the heart out. Hi, guys. And darn, Art Out. I forgot what your name is. I had it. I wrote it down last week. It's downstairs, and I'm just too lazy to run down and leave you all alone with Walter because heaven only knows what he'll do while I'm gone. Evie says, "Good evening, Stephen and Walter." Katie, that's it. Yeah, Art Out is Katie. Okay. I really want to call you people by whatever you want to be called by. So, anyways, Christmas is on its way. Bah, humbug. Not into it. But I've got a little tree and we got some outdoor lights and I might add a few little other things to it. Time for the second butter tart taste.
It's tart.
Or tart. Sorry.
We
Whatever.
only want butter tart.
Bite me. Okay. This is the lemon curd. But you're not a real fan of lemon. So you
Yes, I do. I make lemon meringue pies.
Well, yeah, but you always tell me when I want to put lemon, like with chicken or something. You know, I'm
Yeah, well, that's the savory. I don't like that.
Oh, here, have some tart. Have a little tart. Okay, that's pretty good. I was going to say it's not real lemony, but
No,
it sneaks up on you. It's a little tart. The tart's a little tart.
it's a little sweet.
I thought it was a little tart.
It's a little sweet.
No, it's a little tart.
I'll have a little piece of this.
What, the crust? Shortbread's quite good.
Shortbread crust. It's kind of it's very rich, so.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else we're going to talk about? Okay, well, let's move on to. I think that was the week. What are we watching? Well, on TV, I don't know. Depends on where you are in the world, but there's this show came on a year ago. It's on Netflix. It's one that's exclusive to Netflix. It's called Stranger Things. It's a really good show. And
if you like sci-fi, fantasy.
yeah, it's sci-fi, fantasy kind of thing. These kids, there's another world. They get trapped in it and out of it and around. It's really hard to explain. But it was really good the first season. Well, the second season just started. And we just recently got Netflix. And so we've been binge watching it. And the second season's even better. But it is a bizarre show. I can tell you that. So if you have Netflix or you can get
Yeah,
this,
actually, see, what we did before was we used to download the rather than having we didn't have Netflix, so we downloaded the shows from the internet.
Can you
So,
say pirate?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow.
Hacker?
So that's what we used to do, but now that we have actually Netflix, we actually are watching it on Netflix. So.
Dorothy says, hi, guys. Markets. Oh, Evie says, are those the cakes, tarts you were talking about earlier, Stephen? The ones you said were so addictive? Actually, yes and no. I was talking about butter tarts in general, which I am a big fan of, but not all butter tarts are made the same. And
Right.
they're not, some can be really lousy, some can be really good. And I'm always on the hunt for the good ones.
Yeah, but these are tarts that we bought yesterday, and they're different flavors. There's a lemon one. There's I think a
That's a cranberry. Show
one,
them.
and then there's a
There's
butter tart like one.
There's
So
a chocolate one in there
We've
too.
already eaten half of the butter tart one, so that's what the butter tart one looks like.
And we just
So-
sampled the lemon one. We'll get around to sampling the.
And the lemon one's
Cranberry
falling
one.
apart.
Yeah, well, they're all falling. Well, quit manhandling my tarts.
Okay.
Who wants to eat tart after you've been screwing around with
And
it?
these are a little different. They don't have a pastry crust. Normally they have a pastry crust, which is like shortening, water, and flour, and a little bit of salt. And these are actually like a shortbread crust, like shortbread cookies, which are it's actually
Yeah,
kinda
well,
good.
actually, it's good, but they're probably about 500 calories in each one of those.
Yeah, it's probably
If not
at
more.
least 500 calories in each one.
Sudi Q says, you two are so funny. And Evie says, sounds yummy. Can I have a bite too? Sure. Come on over. If you come over and visit us, we'll give you a butter tart. No problem with that. Susie Q wants to know, are you drinking your champagne? We
Yeah,
most
more or less.
certainly. Well,
Cava, actually.
it's a cava, so it's a Spanish champagne. It's, champagne can only be called champagne if it comes from the Champagne area of France. Otherwise, they're all like a sparkling white wine or something like that, like Prosecco and Cava, which are all just
Which are usually what we drink because we can't afford champagne every day.
Yeah. Walter's a champagne slut anyway, so he doesn't go too far. I don't know. I probably told this story somewhere along the line, but when we got married, we had we had uh, we had an open bar.
Yeah.
And it was all stocked with wines and everything like that. It was wine and beer. We didn't have hard liquor. But we also bought so many bottles of champagne. Now the champagne was meant for the toasts, but it wasn't. We didn't buy enough champagne that people could just have champagne all night long at the wedding. It wasn't a big wedding. It was 85 people at it. But for us and for our two witnesses that stood up with us, straight married couple that were really good friends of ours. Well,
Kirk and Linda.
They still are, except Linda passed away a few years later, and Kirk got remarried, but he's still friends. So basically, our matron of honor and our best man, although we didn't refer to them as that. So I had some for them. Well, every time I warned them, we had this other friend who is the biggest champagne slut there ever was. One of her birthdays, we were at her place. Everybody brought her a bottle of champagne. She couldn't get them in her fridge because in her freezing compartment, she was putting them in there because she already had a stack of it. She loves champagne. So I had warned the bartender, says, okay, watch out for this one tall blonde. She's going to be up here for the champagne all the time. Give her some champagne. Do not give her a bottle of champagne, whatever you do. So I'd be going out during the night, and I'd grab a bottle of champagne. I'd bring it back to our table, and I was pouring us a glass, and I was pouring Linda and Kirk a glass too. And then I'd be talking to people and, doing the stuff you do at a wedding. I'd come back, champagne's all gone. And they hadn't been drinking it. So I'm blaming it all night long on this friend of ours that she was sneaking up, grabbing our bottle and taking it back. Well, it turned out she wasn't drinking anything at all that night because we didn't know she was pregnant.
And she didn't want to tell anybody.
And she didn't want to tell anybody yet about it. So what was happening was actually it was her husband
that was drinking it.
Was drinking our champagne, but he was blaming it on his wife. She was only drinking ginger ale out of it all. But anyways, Walter's a champagne slut. Champagne is something, I like it. I can take it or leave it.
I like anything that's bubbly.
Oh, that's why you like me, because I have a bubbly personality.
Yeah, right.
Bubble, bubble, bubble. Fizzy, fizzy, fizzy. Yeah. So, just looking here again, how I get on that, I don't know. Evie loves shortbread. And Angelique says, oh, yes, I would like to try them too. Have not eaten any yet. And Evie says, laugh out loud, I'd love to, about coming here. Okay, you're more than welcome. No problem. Invitation, everybody. Hop on a plane, come to Canada, set up a date. We'll have fun. You're not staying here, though. Get a hotel. Katie says, I just found out my cholesterol's 219. I'm craving nothing but cholesterol-laden foods past the butter tarts. Yeah, I have.
We're both on cholesterol pills, so.
Yeah, but we're on very low amounts, and you hardly ever take yours.
Yeah, I have 5. I take one I try to take one every day.
I'm on 10 milliliters. I have been for years, and apparently
he's on 10. I'm on 5.
And apparently, I don't have a cholesterol problem, according to the doctor, because I'm taking Crestor, and Crestor wipes it out as opposed to
I'm taking
Lipitor.
Crestor too.
So I don't know about it. This whole thing. You know what they're going to find out?
Well, I don't know. Anybody I know that had a heart attack always never has a cholesterol problem, and then they get a heart attack, and so we're all on this cholesterol medication, and we're find out that it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, well,
except make the pharmaceuticals rich.
Well, no, and in about another 10 years' time, next thing we're going to hear is that it's a carcinogenic, and we've got big tumors on our asses. So I don't know, but anyway, so we're talking about Stranger Things second season. Worth the effort to try and see that or get it if you can in your area. So I said to Walter earlier tonight, what was the movie we watched this week? Another one.
Remember.
I can never remember movies. I watch them. It doesn't matter how good they are. I can't remember them.
Well, this one wasn't that great.
No, it was called Colossal. Colossus?
Colossus or Colossal. Something like that.
Colossus, I think. It was weird.
It was weird. It was what was her name? Anne Hathaway was in it, and she was supposedly linked to some monster in Korea. It was really bizarre.
Yeah, and actually it had some semi-big names.
It wasn't really awful. but it was just not.
It was just very bizarre
strange.
on it. But anyway, so that's what we were watching this week. I guess next Tuesday or next week, or maybe it was this weekend, the new Thor movie comes out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing that at the show
Okay.
with that too. But that's right. And then there's something else that's come. Oh, the Justice. I think that's not until after Christmas though, till into the new year. The Justice League or whatever. I like the superhero ones.
I can take her later.
No, I like them. And what are we watching on YouTube? Well, this is not a. When I talk about what's on YouTube, because you know in my vlog I talk about the craft ones or the art ones, but here I talk about the ones that aren't craft ones. Although this one's sort of a crafty one, and it's called Man About Cake. And there's this guy who makes these really elaborate, decorative cakes that are like 6 tiers high, and he made one that looked for Halloween that looked like a skull, and he paints with edible icing things on them.
It looks like too much work.
Like it looks way like too much, and to the point where I don't think you'd want to cut into it because they're works of art.
Well, it's got the skull one was like about 6 layers of chocolate cake with buttercream icing between it, buttercream icing all over the top of it, covered in fondant icing, and it's like I don't know, really sweet.
Fondant icing is just like you can blow a bubble in that stuff. It's so thick. My sister, when she was making cakes, she did cake decorating class or something. Was making all these cakes at one point, and she
with
was
fondant icing on it. And what it is, it's a really stiff icing that you roll out, and then you cover your cake in it, and it's like a lot of wedding cakes are made. It makes a nice smooth outside on it, but it's basically thick sugar.
Actually, Cricut had for a few years a Cricut machine, the electronic cutting machine, that would actually, they used it for cake making. It would cut the fondant icing into whatever shapes you want it, and you could peel it off and put it on your, like appliques or things like that. But that didn't last very long, that machine.
No.
They kind of took that.
Well, I don't know
off the
how
market.
many cakes are you going to make.
Well, it was like a $300 machine too to cut out your icing and stuff. I don't know. I would say.
I don't know how many. I don't know if there are that many people around that really do a lot of their own cake decorating.
Well, fondant icing too is relatively expensive. Like when you
can buy it at the bulk barn.
Yeah,
the bulk barn store, and you can buy it. I'm not sure if it's a tub or how it works because I've never bought it. So I don't know.
My sister.
I know your sister used.
I don't know whatever she did, but anyways, let's just check to see what's happening here. Kathy says, "I'm that way with books as well. Can't remember the name of the book. Yeah, I read all the time. Don't ask me after I finish the book what it was about because the next day I have forgotten. In fact, sometimes I've started to read a book and go, oh, that sounds interesting, and realize, oh, I've read that somewhere along the line. I am not good.
I'm bad with movies. Like I'll forget what the movie was about. Unless I start watching it again and then I realize, oh, I've seen this before. So
yeah, when I was teaching, when I was an English teacher, I knew, of course, maybe it's because I taught them so many times over. Every book that I taught, I knew them inside out, almost verbatim, what page you could find whatever on. But I think that was because I was teaching it, over the years and many times.
I remember years ago. This was a long time ago.
How long ago?
How long ago?
Was it like were there dinosaurs?
Probably 20 years, if not more longer ago.
Oh my God, you can remember that far back?
We went, I can't even remember the name
I
of the
don't
movie.
Remember.
But we went and saw a movie, and then about 3 or 4 months later, we were in Toronto, and we said, oh, that movie sounds interesting, so we went to go see it. It's the same movie.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh God, early onset of Alzheimer's.
Fright Night or something like this, or it was like it was about this like haunted house, and this guy was in the haunted house, vampire type thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
I'll trust you on that because I don't remember it
anyway, I remember as soon as the movie started, we've already seen this.
To see, it's almost like it's kind of go.
That's the only time that's ever happened,
though. Katie says they always handle everything so much when making things. It kind of grosses me out. Oh yeah, the food and that. Well, hopefully they got clean hands, but you never know.
That's true.
I mean, the horror stories you'll hear about people who work in restaurants and what they do behind you.
Yeah, actually, I used to when I was a teenager, I worked part-time in a restaurant. It wasn't a classy restaurant. It was sort of a family style restaurant. And I was a busboy there. So what happened was they would give you a roll of butter with your meal and that. And what they did was, this sounds a little gross, but when if somebody didn't touch their roll with butter, it would go back into the bin with the fresh roll.
Oh, I can tell you a better one.
And then also, they sent me in the back one time to start peeling potatoes. Well, they bring out this 50-pound bag of potatoes. Half of them are rotten, right? So I start throwing out the rotten ones, and I start getting yelled at that I should just cut off the rotten part and
just eat around
the rest of it, right? And so after that, I sort of thought, you don't really know what you're getting in a restaurant.
I know. Well, when I was 14, 15 years old, I worked at a restaurant as a busboy for a very brief time. Then I moved up to Canadian Tire and worked behind the automotive counter, and I know nothing about cars, but that's another story for another day. And what we had to do with the food, we're not talking about that right now, is we would bring out, when people sat down at a table, and this was a fairly swanky restaurant in its day, I'm talking the 70s, you'd put down a bread basket, so there were rolls and things in it, a variety of them, and a tray that had olives, big green olives, or black olives. They were black olives with the pits and everything, and sliced up large pickles, dill pickles. And when we cleaned up the table, if there were any rolls left, we did exactly what you're saying. They went back into the warmer tray, and we would take our hands, and because of the way they laid out the olives and the pickles, olives here, pickles here, you put your hand on the pickles, dump the olives back into the olive vat, then go over to the pickle vat and dump the pickles back in that. So when we used to go to this restaurant, my parents liked this restaurant. It was very close to where we lived when I was a kid. We'd go there sometimes for dinner. And we could always say, I said, oh, is your pickle really soft? That's a pickle that's been around for quite a while. It's been on a table, into the vat, and on a table. And how about your olives? Always do that. And the buns, well, you kind of used to look at them to make sure you didn't get one to throw back that somebody had poked their finger through, because sometimes it happened. It was dark in this restaurant. You couldn't see. Like, as a busboy, I hated that job. But anyways, yeah, kind of gross on that. Now, what do we got here? Dorothy says, I hate that stuff. I think she means fondant. Love buttercream, though. Yeah, I like the buttercream too, but
I'm not fond of buttercream. It's still too sweet.
But you like the way that Dutch bakery.
Yeah, I like the Dutch bakery. Always had like whipping cream frosting. Basically, it's whipping cream and icing sugar, and I was brought up with that, and I was always used to just whipping cream type cakes, and that's my preference. And here in Canada, they always had very heavy, like buttercream, icing sugar type frosting, and people used to laugh at me because when I grew up, we always had whipping cream icing or whatever. So I'd eat that if it was a cake made out of that. But if it was a buttercream cake, I used to scrape all the icing off and eat cake bar.
You were a weird child.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
It's too sweet for me.
You know, when you're talking about whipped cream, I always think of that Far Side comment where it says there's a cow in chains hanging from the ceiling, and there's a guy wearing a mask with a whip in his hand, and it says the terrible truth behind whipped cream. Yeah. It's like that one with the sheep dip too. The wolves are standing around at a party, and there's a big bowl of dip, and one's got a sheep by its hind legs dipping its head into the bowl of dip, and it goes, well, I'm sold. You've got to try Martha's sheep dip. I just think that's hilarious. Oh, well, you had to be there. Well, that reminds me, too, when you're talking about the potatoes with the rotten spot, that reminds me of the old mama jokes. Mama, there's a bruise on my brother's arm. Shut up, kid, and just eat around it. Kind of sick jokes. Oh, well. Let's see what's going on. Oh, Dorothy's got a question here. Stephen, is your cricket maker the same as the Brother Scan and Cut? Good question. No, it's not. In fact, if you don't have an electronic cutting machine, my recommendation would be spend the money on the Cricut Maker. Do not spend your money on the Brothers Scan and Cut. Now, it's not that it's a bad machine, but if you watch like Julie Fathay Bolzer on her YouTube channel, and I've reviewed that on one of my vlogs before, she is an ambassador for Brothers Scan and Cut, and she does all kinds of things with it. She makes it look like it's so easy. It is not, for several reasons. One, the cutting mats. First time you use it, I'll guarantee that you will cut right through the mat. And then you got to put a piece of duct tape on the back of it, and it's never right again from there. So setting up the pressure and the cutting depth and the whole bit takes a lot of experimentation to get it right.
Isn't the Maker automatic now?
Maker is automatic. Never cut through one of their mats. Their mats are much better, especially the new mats that they've got. They hold their stickiness for a lot longer time. The Brothers Scan and Cut, they don't. In fact, I just saw on Ken's Creations, and I haven't tried this yet. He has a Brothers Scan and Cut as well as Cricut machines, and he said he takes a new Cricut mat and cuts it down so it'll fit on an older Brothers Scan and Cut mat, glues it down to that, and it'll run through, and you don't cut through them the same with it. So I haven't tried that yet. Now it has a built-in scanner though, which the Cricut doesn't. Now the scanner, that sounds really great, but it's only a 300 dpi, dots per inch, so it's not high resolution. Although they have improved the software, the firmware, that you can upgrade every time they come out with a new one if you own the machine free. And it used to only scan in black and white. Not that you're going to print with it, so that didn't really matter. But now they have it so you can scan in color as well. Now the advantage to that is it can recognize more detail in the design it's scanning. If you have a really good impression to scan, meaning that you've got a really dark outline, it doesn't do a bad job. And one advantage it has over the Cricut Maker is that you can adjust if you want a little white border all the way around what you're cutting out. You really can't do that with the Cricut Maker, with what they call Design Space, which is the program that you put this stuff through in Cricut. Yet they may come up with that.
But you do really need like a computer and
yes,
and possibly a scanner for
the Cricut.
For the Cricut, yeah.
Well, Brothers Scan and Cut talks that you don't need a computer. You don't have it attached to a computer. But having said that, their program, if you want to do any major kind of editing of graphics, you have to use their program, which is free, called Scan and Cut Canvas. And it's a pretty good program with it. It's not quite as intuitive. Well, I don't know if the Cricut Maker one is that intuitive either. It's just because I've used them all a lot. So to me, they're not
you're
difficult.
A little bit more computer.
But you do need definitely need to have your Cricut hooked to a computer, and they can do it by Bluetooth. It can work with your tablet, or you can work even with your phone. They have apps for that. Yeah. But when you want to cut out something, it doesn't have a scanner, but you scan it into your computer yourself, or you pick up a JPEG or a PNG or an SVG image.
So you could take a picture with your tablet or something and take it.
Yeah, you can do that too, and import it, and it'll do something called print then cut. Yeah. So it'll print it out on your computer or on your printer. It puts a registration box all the way around it. Then you feed it through into the Cricut, and it reads that registration box, and however the algorithms work or whatever, it figures out where to cut. And it does a pretty good job of that, actually an excellent job. Whereas, like I said, Brothers Scan and Cut, it all depends on how dark your image is, how good the outline is, whether you're going to get it to cut or not. And the beauty of the Cricut Maker too is you can store that, you can save it to your files online. They're in the cloud, but that's fine. And next time you want to use that same image, you just call it up, print it, and cut it. You can't do that with the Brothers Scan and Cut. When it scans an image, it will keep it in your computer, but you have to, it's a two-step process or three-step process in order, and you have to line up your paper again, and you never get it right the second time.
Well, not only that, isn't the cricket maker now set up so that it can do it has a rotary blade and it
cuts material
fabric very well.
Yes, it does. It cut some yesterday.
Even though Brother Scannicut both said it cuts material, but I think it doesn't use a rotary blade, right?
Doesn't use a rotary blade. So the difference is, you know what a rotary blade is. It's like if you do any cutting of material, if you're a sewer, you have those ones that have the wheel on them, right? And you know, use it to cut your material. Well, it's the same principle on the Cricut Maker with that tool, and it comes with that blade. It comes with a regular blade, and it comes with the rotary blade. What happens is, with the old Cricut and with the Brother Scannicut, is you have a blade that, first of all, your material has to be bonded. It has to be on a stabilizing sheet of some sort to give it, because
sticky.
Keep it stuck down, and because the blade is dragging through it. So if it hits a rough spot or hits it on a certain angle, it's going to start to fray your material. Whereas the rotary blade doesn't do that.
No, and plus they also have it's not out yet, but they've got a blade that will cut through.
It's called the knife blade.
Yeah,
it's supposed to come out in December. And that's really why I bought the machine, was for that knife blade more than anything, because it'll cut material up to 2.5 millimeters thick. So you can cut. That's a sizable. It cut thick chipboard. Whereas the old machine, the thickest it could cut was cereal box cardboard, basically. And the scan and cut is the same. It can't cut anything thicker than a cereal box, and even then, you are hard pressed to get a really clean cut on that. You play with that for days. I still have my Brother Scan and Cut. I have not used it since I got the Cricut Maker, and I hardly used it even before I got the Cricut Maker because I had the Cricut Explorer Air. And I paid a lot of money. The only reason I haven't got rid of it.
So he kind of recommends the Cricut.
Yeah, I recommend the Cricut Maker. Also, the new Brother Scan and Cut. I have the first model. The new one has a Wi-Fi capability, so you don't have to transfer whatever you're doing on your computer onto a USB drive and plug it in. You can send it right to the machine. However, for the price of it, that's about the only improvement they made on it. Oh, I think they made the actual screen that's on the machine itself a little larger. But it's like, in Canadian money, it's well over $600. I think it's $800 for it. The Cricut Maker in Canadian money is about $400. And it does more, and they have this adaptive tool system they're talking about where they're going to bring out more things. Now, the Brother Scan and Cut, when we were in London, I saw on that Craft and Create television show, they were showing there's an embossing tool now you can get for it. And they've had other things too that come out. You can't buy them here in North America.
Well, in Canada.
Well, in Canada. But even I've looked in the States on the Brothers States, and I can't get it from them.
Yeah, I know. Brothers are a really strange company.
It's very weird.
Yeah, also, like people that, businesses that want to sell the product, a lot of scrapbook stores don't, unless they're big stores, don't carry the Brothers Scan and Cut because they insist, a smaller store, they insist that the store sells sewing machines as well as
sells the Brothers sewing machines as well
as to be able to carry the Scan and Cut. Yeah. So which is kind of limiting as to where you can buy the product. The
Brother people missed the point. They were marketing the machine when it first came out to sewers, so they could, because they have quilt patterns in it, so, to cut material for that. And everything. They didn't even think about the paper crafting world.
Well, not only that, they don't still think of, like, I mean, they are thinking about paper crafting
now
with was it Balzer or whatever her name is. And but still, they're not allowing businesses to buy, as far as I know, they're still not allowing businesses to buy the machines or sell the machines unless they sell the sewing machines.
They sell sewing machines with it.
So scrapbook store is not going to sell sewing machines.
No.
Why?
I had to get mine online, and I didn't get it from Brother. I got it from some sewing.
You got it from a sewing
in Hamilton, which is 100 kilometers away from us, approximately.
Yeah. So like it's kind of crazy. So,
but I did love it when I first got it.
Yeah.
And I need to revisit it again. But now I've got 3 electronic cutting machines. I'm only using one. I don't want to give up my Cricut Explorer because Walter bought it for me as a birthday present, for one thing. But also, one thing that the new machine doesn't have, if you're a Cricut user before and you have the cartridges that used to go in them, and I have quite a few of those cartridges. It's shameful how many I have from that. You can link it up to the online program, and you only need to do that once, and then it's always there. So you never have to keep inserting your cartridge. But the new machine does not have a cartridge port. So because they're moving away from having the cartridges, they want you to buy all their stuff digitally, and they charge about 99 cents for most images. And then they have kits and things like that. I just recently did the monthly subscription. I'm trying that out for Cricut Access, which basically gets me access to their entire library of about 60,000 images and fonts on there. Well, actually, it's $9.99 American. It's about $12.99 Canadian a month. So I'm trying that out to see if how much I'll use that. But they are coming out. It's supposed to be in December as well. December seems to be the magic month, with a little device that will, I think what it does is it plugs into the USB port that's on the side. They have an extra USB port on the side so you can charge your tablet or your phone if you're going to use those in Bluetooth on your machine. I think it'll probably plug into that. It'll be a little adapter, and you can probably put your discs into that or your cartridges into that and do it. So I've saved my other machine just in case I ever get a new cartridge or something by chance. Sometimes they put them on sale as part of their mystery box they have every month, and so I can just hook it up through that one. But really, I don't need more than one electronic cutting machine. And the Brothers Scan and Cut, I don't know what to do about it yet. It cost me $600 when I bought it, and I'm not going to get 600 or 500 or 400 or 300 for it. I practically gave away my old Cricut Expression 2 machine just after I got the Explorer Air that Walter bought me. I mean, I sold it to a woman. I asked $150. She said, would I take $125? I said, sure, fine. She came and picked it up, and I even threw in a bunch of sample cartridges kind of a thing for it. And hope she never called me back because she didn't have a clue what she was buying. Really, I was explaining it to her. She seemed to be all gung-ho, but I said, there's quirks to it. And that's the other thing about the Cricut Maker. Less quirks. They have really made it pretty user-friendly right out of the box. So, and there's a million videos about it. Yeah, what? Quit tapping me.
No, I'm not tapping. I'm scratching my leg.
Well, you touched me.
Okay, well.
Go away. Okay, so let's see what people are saying here. Think that. Answer that. Let's see. Kathy says, I'm still using my Cricut Expression. Thinking about buying Air 2 because of the price difference with the Maker. Kathy, honestly, it's $100 difference. Well, in our money, in Canadian money. Buy the Cricut Maker. You won't regret it. The Cricut Expression 2 or Air 2 is a good machine. Now, if you're not ever going to in your life ever cut material, then okay, go with the lesser machine. However, you might want to cut thicker chipboard, and I don't think that the knife blade they're coming out with you will be able to use that.
No, you can't use it in the Expression because what happens is that the difference between the Maker and the Expression 2 is that the Maker has 10 times more force when cutting, and than any of the previous.
Well, don't you just know a lot about it?
Yes, I do. I listen to all this
and,
shit.
And have you ever tried to use it?
No, I haven't
No, you
used
haven't.
it.
Do you know
but
how to
I
turn
listen
it
to all the stuff.
Okay, fine.
But apparently it has more pressure. So then
yes, it has 10 times more.
I can see would cut better.
Yeah, it has 10 times more pressure. Also, there are no dials on it. There are dials on the Explorer Air 2 that you set for different materials, but most of the time I never use those settings. I went to custom and did it through the computer to pick the stuff. But they have made this new one. It has literally hundreds of settings for different materials. You name it, it's on there. And they work really well. I'm very, very impressed with it. So what I'm saying is, Just hold out a little longer.
If
Save
you're
your
gonna-
pennies.
If you're going to spend the money.
If you're going to spend the money, it's $100 difference. I know $100 is $100, but you won't regret it. I guarantee that you will not regret it if you get the Cricut Maker. I think even if you don't cut material, you have the advantage. Plus, it's not just material. Cricut has faux leather. You can cut it with the rotary blade. Cricut keeps coming out with more and more materials and stuff to cut with. Plus, they're going to come out with new tools, more of them, and you won't be able to use those tools on your Explorer
previous ones,
at all. So in my opinion, Cricut Maker.
Anyway.
Okay. Katie says she still has a Vagabond from a million years ago. I still have my Vagabond, and I use it every now and then, and it's a great machine. I have the original one. They came out with the Vagabond 2, and the difference between the two is they were having some problems. Well, this was user problems. They had plastic gears inside of them, but some people wouldn't follow the rules, and they would jam things through it. I mean, if your Vagabond won't accept what you're putting through, it means you don't have the right sandwich. You haven't got the layers right, and you're putting something in too thick. Don't force it. And I saw that when I worked at the scrapbooking store. A few people brought them back, and I said, well, I don't know. Then I get them show me. He says, you tried to force it through. Actually, we were able to sort of lie to the distributor, and we got them a new one. But technically speaking, it wasn't the fault of the machine. It was the fault of the user. Now, the new machine, the Vagabond 2, it's all metal gears. But nevertheless, if you force things through that, even with the metal gears, you could break it. But they're not that fragile. I've had mine for several years. I don't use it a lot anymore, but I have never put it away. Occasionally I still use it. Dorothy says, thank you for the advice. I was going to buy a scan and cut, but I'm revising my choice. So you attach a Cricut to the computer. I have a scanner too. Yes, you attach it to the computer. Or you can do it if your computer has Bluetooth capability, you can attach it wirelessly. Or you can do it with your tablet as well.
Like it tends to, does it have Android settings as well?
Yeah, they just came out with, I think, the app for Android. They started with the iOS.
Your Android tablet or your, if you have an Apple tablet, it's probably
if you have an iPad or an iPhone, but I think they've got the Android version out now too, so it'll work with that. But yeah, excellent machine. Moving on.
Okay.
Here, Ian Jackson says, oh wait, I'm going too fast. Thanks for the advice. Debbie's off. Night one and all. It's been fun. Okay. Yeah. Night, Debbie. Ian Jackson. Oh, hi, Ian. Ian's here. He says it is not more to do with the density of the thing you were cutting. It's not more to do with the density of the thing you cut. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do you mean it depends on the thickness of the material, the density of it? Yes, that is important. I mean, but because the Cricut Maker is 10 times more powerful, pressure on it, it cuts more things better.
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Purple Potatoes here. Hello from Colorado. Sorry I'm late to the party. Just got home from my scrapbook crop. Thought you were going to be live tomorrow. It's great to see you. We were going to be, but I forgot I'm teaching tomorrow from 1 to 4. So that's why it's tonight. Sorry about that. Evie says, Stephen, do you have a P.O. box, if you don't mind me asking? I'd love to send you a little Christmas Happy Mail with craft goodies from Germany. Send me an email, Evie, at stephenbland@simpatico.ca. So Stephen Bland is all one word. Stephen's with a V. So STEVENBLAND. Think of boring, monotone, flat, bland. All one word, all lowercase, at Simpatico. SYMPATICO.ca. Now, if you didn't get all of that, when this goes for rebroadcast, just cut over into the 50, what's it say? What are we up to? Oh, I can't read it.
84.
Oh, go around to about the 84-minute mark. Boy, 84 minutes already.
Yeah.
And just slow me down, and you'll get it from there. And that's very nice of you too. Thank you, Evie. And I'll send you a mailing address. Okay. Angelica says, have a nice night's sleep, B&D. Okay. Kathy says, the Air 2 does have a port for cartridges, doesn't it? Yes, it does. They just haven't come out with the little device that you'll plug.
No, that's the maker.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. The Air 2 has a port. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but the maker doesn't.
No, the maker doesn't.
For cartridges. They have supposedly an adapter coming out for cartridges.
Yeah, they're saying in December something. Ian says, why do people use all these products when vinyl cutters are cheaper and do more and don't need this accessory and that accessory? Well, that's a good question, Ian. I'm not a big vinyl person, so I don't know. Except that I'm not sure. Well, I don't know anything about vinyl cutters.
We don't know anything about vinyl cutters, but these Cricut products, I don't use them.
But I know you seem to know a lot right now. Yeah.
They will have very specific patterns where they can put it in the computer and cut out fairly intricate patterns.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know what the vinyl cutters do.
I don't know either. I've never used one. I'm not big into vinyl. I have some vinyl that I've picked up from Cricut. I have done a couple of things in vinyl, but I'm not one of those.
The Cricut is mostly used for making cutting out paper.
Yeah. My favorite thing to do with the Cricut Maker is to actually put into the computer JPEGs and then cut them out like die cuts and use them in things. I just did a whole bunch from some old advertisements from a store that's in London that's been there since the turn of the last century, called Selfridges. And I was watching a show on Netflix about the secrets of Selfridges, and they had some of their old original ads from the early 1900s. And I thought these would make really interesting backgrounds for art journaling pages. And I love that kind of stuff. So this morning, I downloaded about 7 of these images just from Google Images. And I printed them onto deli paper first, but they were smudging on the deli paper. No matter how long I left them to dry, it just wasn't absorbing into it, the ink. So I put them on tracing paper. And for some reason, although tracing paper is very much like deli paper, it must be more porous. And so it absorbed in and it dried. And then I thought, well, maybe I could take these and cut them out like images from them. I had to edit them a little bit in Photoshop. But, and it worked really cool with that. I love doing that kind of thing with them. That's what I use it more for than anything else. Let's see what we got. Neri is here. Hi, Neri. And Kathy says, you were saying exactly what everyone else says. Maybe I'm convinced to go for the Maker. You know, I know something. I think you're going to get the most bang for your buck if you go for the Cricut Maker. They don't sponsor me. God, I wish they did. I could get freebies, but they don't. But I honestly, truly believe it is right now the best machine of its kind on the market. Let's see. Dorothy and Kathy both say thank you for your advice. Dorothy says, I was impressed when you scanned Tim Holtz paper dolls and resized them and cut them out. Also, the Dina Wakley stamps. Yeah, that's the other thing. Okay, now, I don't know how legal this is. But then again, as I said in that video when I showed that about Tim Holtz, those are images that are in the public domain that they are using, and they're cutting them out and they're selling them. So I figure I bought the package. I want to get more bang for my buck. There's some images.
Well, I think if you're using it for yourself, it's not a big deal. It's if you're trying to resell the stuff.
Yeah. Well, maybe, but they're reselling it.
Well, if they're reselling it, they must have copyright. But I'm just saying, if the average person takes Mickey Mouse, and
well, you can't. That one they'll crucify you.
No. But I mean, if you take Mickey Mouse and cut it out for yourself,
well, I have.
Right. That's one thing. But if you take Mickey Mouse and cut out 200 and try and sell them, that's a copyright violation.
Yeah, for that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, these old images are like 100 years old or more. There is a stipulation on copyright that after 70 or 90 years, it depends on what country you're in, then it becomes public domain unless it belongs to the estate of somebody who renews the copyright.
Oh, okay.
They're picking up, these are images, they don't know who the people are, they don't know where they come, I don't know where they find them. I suspect they've gone through and found, because Tim Holtz collects memorabilia, like old vintage stuff. You can go on the internet into Google Images and you can find all this stuff like I did with the Selfridge ads.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I'm not really selling them. I'm just using them for myself. But, you know, but anyways, you get more bang for your buck by doing this as well. Now, some images you wouldn't care about doing, but you know, ones that you want to and you think you might have another use for them. Plus, you can resize them. That's the other thing. Once they're in the computer, then you can go into the editing software from Cricut and you can resize them to do whatever you want to do with them. So you can colorize them. So, you know.
Yeah, like you've done that before,
Yeah.
filled it in with color on the computer and then just printed it out.
And just print it out. So like, for example, you want a quick way to make multiple numbers of the same card, like invitations, Christmas cards, something like that, and you've got a rubber stamp that you really like for Christmas. Stamp it. I would suggest you use a form of a stamp platform, like the Tim Holtz one. This is excellent. I have 3 stamp platforms. The Tim Holtz one is my preferred one. But that gives you a really good impression. Make a good impression. Use whatever you're going to use, your pencil crayons, your watercolors, whatever. Color it all in. Scan it into the computer as a JPEG. Bang. You can load it up into Cricut, and you can cut out as many copies of that as you want. And they're already colored and everything. You did that. So you only have to color them once, only stamp them once, color them once, print them out multiple times, cut them out multiple times, no problem.
Well, yeah, you print them out on your computer and then you cut them out, right?
Yeah, you print them out on the
Yeah,
computer,
okay.
then the sheet goes into the...
Yeah, okay, I'm just trying to clarify.
But I thought you knew everything about this.
I understand that, but I'm just trying to clarify it for people.
Really? I think we need to do a video where we go, Beginner's Guide to Using the Cricut Maker with someone who doesn't know how to use a Cricut Maker.
I know how to use it, except I don't know.
You don't even know how to turn it on. I'll bet you can't even open it.
Yeah, there's something.
Oh yeah, there's some. Yeah, right.
And it spreads its legs.
Okay, well, all right. Well, you know, I could use your table saw, no problem. I could probably make a cabinet. Right. No, that's the same. Whatever.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so Dorothy says I was impressed. Okay, she's Dorothy's going for the Cricut Maker, and she says you're only using them for yourself. Yep. And Dorothy says you're right. Oh well, just like feed his ego. Like
anyway, okay,
he already knew he was right because.
Well, you make me watch all these stupid videos all the time with.
Oh, you say it isn't so.
I do absorb stuff.
Oh God.
Anyway, so
I think I'll have a heart attack. Like, oh, heart attack. Time to try the third one. This is the cranberry one. This one I'm kind of looking forward to. I don't know. There's something stuck in the middle of it. I'm not sure what that is. Ooh, ooh. This is like it's like a butter tart, really runny butter tart with. Weird. Ooh, that's weird. It's got butter tart filling with cranberry stuff on top. Oh, that's good.
Well, that's good. It's like caramel
but it's like the cranberries are a little tart, and the other part's still sweet, so you get this this fight in your mouth. But that's what I call a runny tart. It's an oozer. Okay, I was talking about runny tarts before. Like in butter tart, I don't know if I can show this, but look at that's a runny tart. Okay, that's like you're wearing it up to your elbows. Nari says, "Breathe, Stephen, breathe." Evie says, "Laugh out loud. You guys are so funny." Wasn't trying to be. That's just normal. Okay. Katie says, "When are you guys going to do an art project together?" Well, Katie,
we'll have to figure that out.
There's a certain amount of resistance over here to this. The other problem that we have too is I'm trying to think, what you would only see is probably our hands. Maybe that's the better part of us. Anyways, I was trying to think of a way that I can switch between two, but I don't have the technology to do that easily. I do have the technology that I have 2 cameras downstairs in my craft room for different areas, which I can switch back and forth. But basically, when I switch them, it means unplugging the USB cable from one and plugging the USB cable in the other, because the two will conflict with each other. I know there's devices out there or something you can use that will switch back, and I've never, you know, it's funny. All the people who do YouTube videos, they never show how they make the YouTube videos. I have asked different ones, you know, you should do a video about how you do videos. which makes me think, have I done one? I think I did do one a long time ago about how I make them. But I'd like to see other people's setups and know, okay, what equipment, what software are you using? I know that 90% of them are using iMacs or Macs, and I'm not. I'm using PCs. Um, and Macs do make. Oh, I think we're back. Okay. Can you see us now? Nuria says probably wouldn't have happened on a Mac out loud. Okay, can just let us know. Can you guys see us and hear us? We lost a few people.
Yeah.
On the way. Evie says maybe Walter studied all your machines in and out already since he's retired. Yeah, you never know, Stephen. Yeah. That was a funny remark, Nair. Welcome back. Okay, so Carol Bond, 123, she says she can see us now. Yeah, you're back again. Yeah, I don't know what happened. That is the first time in any of the live broadcasts we've done to date that we've lost the connection. So I know there's been a few people that do lives all the time and have been complaining about something with YouTube dropping the connection. But anyways, we're back. So,
however, it says now that
what?
we're at 6 minutes.
What do you- what?
No, it says we're 96 minutes.
Good, it's carried on.
published
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was on. Katie says I thought it was on my end, but I have a Mac. Yeah, back here too. Okay, so what were we talking about?
It's supposed to be what pissing me off, but I don't know what's pissing me
Oh,
off.
is that where Walter? Yeah. Well, Walter doesn't have anything pissing him off this week, so.
Well, actually,
Oh, you do? Okay.
no, I don't have anything. I have things that piss me off, but I never remember them. So,
Well, that must piss you off.
yeah, I guess it does.
Well, anyways, okay.
I'll have to think about that again.
So
I
just
keep saying that. But,
yeah, okay. Quit cutting
Okay.
me off.
all right.
Well, we're talking about running bird shirts, whatever. Okay, so what's coming up in the next week? Well, here's something that's sort of pissing me off. You know that I joined what's called the OAA, the Oshawa Arts Association, and I'm supposed to next week doing the first of a 3-part series on art journaling. Well, we went in last Tuesday to see how many people have signed up. Nobody. Okay, that's really not what's pissing me off. That's really not something that is upsetting me either. In fact, I'm kind of hoping that nobody does sign up. What the problem is we walked in and they said, well, maybe you could advertise it. And I said, who am I going to advertise it to? Well, I thought, well, maybe you have connections. It says, I'm not a professional artist. I don't do this for a living. This is amateur stuff. I was told that they were going to look after all that. But then I got thinking, well, how do you do that? You don't have a mailing list. They were saying a lot of people don't have Facebook. They're an older crowd. They were going to establish a mailing list and try that. So I said, look, it doesn't matter to me. If nobody signs up this time, that's fine and dandy. And he said, well, we can offer it again another time. That's fine. To be honest, their setup has me a little concerned over there. I'm a type A personality. I'm very organized. And when I'm doing something, I don't like to start a class where I'm, okay, everybody grab a piece of newsprint, get that on your table, then you have to have this. I like to have it all set up, ready to go. Because nothing gives less confidence to someone coming to a class than when the teacher doesn't know what the heck they're doing or seems to not know what they're doing. And we've all been in classes like that. And I don't want to be one of those types. So anyways, I have no idea whether I'm teaching next week or not. I'm going to have to go in. I have a meeting at the art gallery on Monday. After the meeting, I'll go in and check and see if anybody signed up. If nobody signed up, I'm going to say, fine, I guess nobody wants to take this. Give me my $40 retainer back for this. I had to give them $40 in case there's damage. I clean up after. Okay, whatever, but that's their policy, so I did. Give it back, and we can look at possibly doing it in the spring, because I'm not offering it in December because everybody's busy at Christmas. And then we're going to go away. If it's a 3-part series, January's not a good month for it because people are recovering from Christmas. We're gone February and half of March. So I don't know. We'll see. So I'm not pissed off because I didn't get anybody to sign up for my course. I'm a little pissed off because of the organization of this thing. They're the ones that wanted to do 3 in a row instead of 1. I suggested, well, we do 1 and see how it works out, and then we can offer other ones. But the one I thought should be a series, 3 of them, 101, 102, 103. I don't know. But anyways, and tomorrow I'm teaching the art journaling class. That's why we're on tonight. As you know, we've said that only about 1,000 times. Tomorrow we're using jelly plates to create unique artistic labels and stickers that can be used to create backgrounds and embellishments for art journaling pages. And if you've never used a jelly plate before, check out YouTube videos about them because they are addictive and they are so much fun. And we're just going to, I've given them sheets of labels, you know, the ones that you buy at like a office supply store. And we're going to be doing layering on them with paint and stencil work and rubber stamping and the whole bit. And they'll have these really cool stickers. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. And I've already got everything set up. I went into the store this afternoon before they closed, set up the area. So tomorrow, bang, away we go. Not like the Oshawa Arts Association. So what do we got here? Some more comments, and then we'll wrap this up. Oh, okay. So Katie says you're back. Okay, Susie Q says I want a craft off. Walter, you would be great. And that's what I'm afraid of. Nuri says yes, a craft off. You could do a collaborative canvas. Oh no. There'll be no collaboration.
No thanks.
It will be competition all the way. Yeah. I know I'm going to lose for 2 reasons. 1, he has a lot of artistic talent, and he knows it. And the other way I'll lose is he will never admit that something that I have made might be better than his. And all the rest of you will probably side with him because people always do. I never get it. I don't know why. Look at this. Why? Why would you? Really? I don't know. Have you ever lived with a Dutchman? Anybody Dutch? They are the most difficult people in the world to live with. I can tell you that. They're always right. See, the Dutch live in a really small little country and they've got a big dike all the way around it. Why? Because they don't believe there's anybody else that lives in the world outside of where they live.
My way's the right way.
Yeah, that's right. See? Yep. If it's not Dutch, it's not much. So they say. Where are you going? Dorothy says, where are you guys going in February? You don't know, Dorothy? Oh my God, we've only talked about it. Like, I only talk about it every time on a vlog, and we talk about this all the time. We're going back to Australia. And looking forward to it. We loved it so much last year when we went. We want to go back and see more of it. So we're going to Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, and back down to Sydney. We're gone about almost 5 weeks. So looking forward to that. And I love kangaroos. They're so cute. I got that one the last time we were there, and they're so cute. To put one in my suitcase, bring it home. Hope they're litter trained. That would be a big box. Nari says, gel plates are great and so much fun. Maybe you and Walter could do a video together. Yep, I've got these thoughts. We'll see what happens. Okay, and Nari says, okay, we get to vote which art is best. Oh yeah, hurt my feelings. Really? Fine. Whatever.
Won't hurt mine.
No, I know.
If it's better than mine, I don't care.
Oh, yeah, you do care. Because you'll blame it on something. Oh, the paint was too glumpy. Oh, the stencils weren't right. Oh, the rubber stamp was dry. I don't know. You will never admit, you just suck. Simple as that.
Fine.
Yeah, fine. Evie says, jelly plates are such a great invention, so many possibilities. Yep. And Susie says, yes, we get to vote and you announce on the next craft off. Okay, Susie, we'll see. Brilliant time to go there. Dorothy says, to Australia. Yeah, I know, it's summer there. And yeah, we're looking forward to that. So anyways, people, this has been running way over. We usually do 90 minutes. It's 104 now. So I think we've bored you enough for this evening. And we have these butter tarts to finish at some point in time. And we've got chili in the crock pot and pulled pork in another one. And the whole house smells like
pork and jelly.
Yeah, dead cows and pigs. So anyways, oh, Evie says, have you seen the video of the boxing kangaroo? They can be really dangerous, though. Yeah, the red kangaroos are apparently the ones that do the boxing, and they're not the ones you get to pet.
I think they allow you to pet the docile one.
Yeah, we were with the docile ones. So, the ones they were used to people, and they just wanted the pellets we were feeding them, and their little tummies scratched. But anyways, good night to you all, Susie Q says, and we'll say good night to everybody too.
Yeah.
And
Good night.
we'll see
See
you
you
next
next week.
week, and we're going to try for Sunday afternoon
Sunday
next
afternoon.
week. And for those of you living in Canada, remember, clocks go back an hour tonight. Fall back, spring ahead. See you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.